Greetings, everyone. It's that time of the week again. It's time for another midnight review. And this week I went to go see the highly anticipated The Dark Knight Rises. And right off the bat, I gotta say, it was a really, really, really good movie. It was great. I actually like it better than The Dark Knight. Um, Mostly because The Dark Knight probably would have been a perfect film if not for the last act after the Joker was caught. I think it should have ended there. Um, It kind of climaxed a little too soon with the hospital scene on that one, but that's for another time. But this time, The Dark Knight Rises, it really blew me away. I wasn't going into this movie with a lot of hype, and that's kind of saying something because I do like Batman, as you can see from my shirt. um, it was I don't know why there just wasn't that much hype for me. I guess because I didn't think Bane could be a really great villain compared to like the Joker, which I was totally proven wrong. Bane was an incredibly amazing villain, probably the best villain that was done by Nolan. Um, I think that's saying something because he's done. I mean, Ra's al Ghul and the Joker, and even the Scarecrow was pretty good, even though he was kind of glossed over because Ra's al Ghul was the more focused character, I guess. Um, but yeah, Bane really, uh, he really put I know Bane is pretty like badass and he is pretty manipulative and all that stuff and he knows how to run a crime syndicate and all that stuff. Um, I don't know. I just didn't feel like Bane should have been the the villain, but it worked out so well, and I'm really happy it worked out so well. Um, I don't want to spoil too much because there's a good twist in there, and I guess two twists you could say. One you kind of figure it's coming, but you think it's not at the beginning. The other one was it really caught me by surprise, even though I did think about it early on because they about halfway through, I think a little before halfway through, they kind of hint towards it. But yeah, I was it really was nice. It was really good. It had really good pacing. Bane had a lot of good scenes. It kept it really interesting. I mean, Bane pretty much throughout the whole movie was doing something, and that kept it really intense and really action. The action scenes kept it, paced well. It was a really great paced movie. That's what I gotta say. It was. I never felt bored. There was maybe one scene I really didn't care for, which was when Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle were dancing around in a circle and doing their quick whips at each other and stuff like that, and blah 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 blah. Blah. It felt a little long for me. That's all. But even that was still a good scene. I wish they would chose a little bit a different camera style because it seemed like they stayed on one style a little too long, which is the circle around them as they're spinning and just looked a little. It shouldn't have gone as long as it did. Um, but with that said, that was really the only thing I would nitpick about this movie. Besides, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, so pretty much the last 15 minutes I'm not going to even touch. But definitely see this movie. Definitely see this movie, even though you thought The Dark Knight was the high point and you didn't trust anything about this movie. Go see it. I know the trailers at the beginning made it seem like it's just going to drag on and on. Batman's not going to be in it that much and all that stuff, and then, but it's not. It's really there's a good amount of Batman. There's a really good amount of Batman. There's a great amount of Bane. It really cements his badassness, if that is a word. I believe it is, but I could be wrong. I like using it, so don't try to correct me. But yeah, so Bane really impressed me. The only thing I didn't like also was just nitpicking here was his voice, because Bane is supposed to be from like Central America, Mexico, stuff like and Southern America and stuff like that. So he's supposed to have a Hispanic accent of sorts, and it's supposed to be fairly thick. All his other portrayals of Bane, like in animated series and stuff like that, has always given him, a Latino accent, a Hispanic accent. And here he kind of had, I don't know, like when you hear it, you know what kind of accent he's going for, but then it breaks up a few times and all that stuff. It's really pompous, I should say. Even though it's muffled and grizzled a little bit, but it's good though because Bane is a little pompous in a way because he's the top dog. He's the alpha. I mean, he's the alpha, omega, all that stuff. It's like he's a badass, and he really shows it, and he knows it. Um, so that's the only thing I wish. Um, I will say one thing: there is we play close enough attention. There is Venom in this movie. That was the one thing me and my friends wanted to see is Bane getting juiced up. There is. I won't say how and all that stuff, but there is. You'll catch it if you pay attention long enough. Uh, but yeah, so oh, and I'm gonna be hurting in the morning for watching this movie, but screw it, I wanted to see it. So yeah, so it really didn't feel like a long movie, even though it was a long movie. It was like 2 hours 40 minutes or something like that. Um, what else? What else? It's just a great movie. Go see it. Definitely go see it. Also, I wanted to mention when I did go see it, I went the same time to wait in line as I did for the Avengers and also Harry Potter, the last movie, and this line was bigger. Um, that's say actually no, Harry Potter was bigger. It was a longer line because they had a separate line for just 3D, and I didn't think of that when I first thought about whose line was bigger. But yeah, uh, was a huge line. I'm sure they sold out in every theater, and it was a 15 seating theater. There were two theaters with like the marathon and stuff like that. But yeah, it was sold out. I think it might be able to beat the Avengers numbers. As incredible that sounds, I mean, I think it could beat the Avengers. Even though Avengers did have a little boost from the 3D bonus sales, I guess you could count it. But because this is not in 3D, and I like that. I like it's not 3D. I gotta give props to Nolan for not being dragged into the whole 3D fad and all that stuff. Because it's good sometimes, but most of the time it's not worth it 3D. And I think sometimes that hurts the numbers as far as how movies can do, even though they do get an extra buck or two from it. But yeah, like it's just kind of say this is a damn near perfect movie. It's definitely if I had to round it off, it'd be a 10 because I like whole numbers. Um, like I can't think of many other movies that were better than this all around. I know the Avengers. I enjoyed it more because there was more laughs to it and everything. There was more wisecracking and inside jokes, comic book nerd jokes, and stuff like that. Um, this one was more serious, more drama. I think anyone that's seen the first two at least will definitely love this movie. Um, and even I think even anyone that just comes in it blind will like this movie because it has good characters. It sets up the story well enough. There's enough backstory. But yes, okay. Let me talk about the acting. Tom Hardy as Bane was amazing. I think he did a hell of a job, even though you couldn't see most of his face. But just the way he walked, just the way he presented himself, even his eyes and stuff like that. It really, I believe that was his voice too. I could be mistaken, but I do believe it is his voice that's the voice of Bane and all that. I think he did well. He probably just can't do that Hispanic accent, or Nolan didn't want it, but he did very well, and I enjoyed him as a villain. Uh, Christian Bale was good. I mean, he's just as good as any of the other two movies and stuff like that. I know he could do better, um, but this role didn't really call for better. I guess you could say, um, but he did very well. The quality didn't drop at all. His Batman voice is not as gargled, I should, as the Dark Knight, which is good because you can actually understand at least 99 95% of what he's saying. You probably understand Bane better than Batman. That's kind of sad, but yeah, uh, he was good. I don't know, the Batman voice was kind of over the top just from the start. Um, what else? What else? What else? Who else? Anne Hathaway. I liked her. Initially, when I heard she was gonna be Catwoman, I didn't like it because she seems like she's like the princess actress. I mean, she's just she doesn't radiate femme fatale, sexy, the whole 9 yards that that describe Catwoman, and she pulled it off quite well actually. It took a little getting used to, but I came around. It's like she did good as Catwoman, I gotta say, and it was really good. I wish there was more of that that cat essence to her voice, like an accent, like how most of the Catwomen have it. But yeah, you gotta take what you can get, and it was very good. I do like the way that they did her cat ears, which were pretty much her goggles, like her special goggles that she would just flip up and put on her head. I just didn't notice that during the pictures. I guess I didn't pay attention enough because I didn't like the whole bodysuit, but it works. Would have been nice if they drew in the whip, just cause, but it worked. Liam Neeson has a little cameo, I guess you could say. Gary Oldman is greatest ever. I mean, it really shows how badass Commissioner Gordon is, and that's cool. Marion Cotillard, she was good. Uh, Morgan Freeman, I'm just looking at IMDb going down the list. Morgan Freeman was really good. He's not in it as much, but he does a very good job, the same as he's always done. Juno Temple, Holly Robinson. Oh yeah, that's Catwoman's friend, like the one that she. If you've seen Batman Year One, she's the little girl-looking prostitute slash um, thief, pickpocketer and stuff like that. Um, I like that she was in there. It gave Catwoman a little more, uh, like more human connection to it, and I like that. That was a nice little throw on in that Nolan added, because the movie could have done totally without her and would not have hurt, but it gives a nice little extra. Uh, Cillian Murphy, Doctor. Oh yeah, Scarecrow's back, which is cool. When you see him when he comes in, I'm not spoiling anything on that. He comes in about halfway in or so, I think. Michael Caine was really good, even though he wasn't he was not in it too much, but the parts and scenes that he did have were really good. He actually, yeah, it's sad because he outshines Christian Bale in the scenes, which that reminds me. Christian Bale needs to stop whispering so much. I could not hear him on some of the things he was whispering, and there was no need for whispering. Um, like one of the scenes with Michael Caine and him. Michael Caine knows how to project, how to make sure he's heard, and I guess the audio guy or whatever didn't do the same job with Christian Bale to make sure that the audience heard him. But yeah, so oh my god, I can't believe I missed Joseph Gordon-Levitt. John Blake. John Blake, that's a good one. He kind of reminds me of the if you've seen the Batman animated series, the Mexican policewoman, the Latina policewoman that's usually partners with Bullock in the last few seasons, the last couple seasons of it. He reminds me of her, just in a male version, because he's really out there, hard worker, stuff like that. He's come up from the streets, literally, boys' home and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Um, like I said, I don't want to go into spoilers, so what else? What else? What else to say? Definitely see this movie. I recommend it highly. Um, I did stay for the whole credits. There was nothing, so as soon as the movie ends, you can leave. You can beat the other people because the credits are 3-4 minutes long, and there is nothing. I promise you, there's nothing. I stayed. Don't waste your time. You're already looking at this video, or listening to this video, which is 15 minutes long, and I need to cut it short. But this is an amazing movie. It's a long movie, and there was so much to say about it. There's just minor nitpicks that I would say I didn't care for, but really they were just really minor enough where I overlooked them, because this is a really great movie. The pacing was amazing. There was definitely enough action scenes, enough Batman, enough Catwoman, definitely enough Bane. There was a good twist or two here and there. Really good movie. And so I think that's where I'll end it. See this movie. It's nearly a perfect movie. Definitely see it. And I like to see the box office numbers to see what it makes this weekend. I think it has a very good chance to beat the Avengers. So, until next time, guys. Laters.